All right, hello. So in this video, in real time, we are going to create an internal Google Sheet add-on. What this means is that I won't show you the coding, I'll actually show you the code 100%. We'll show you the code, but I won't do the coding. I already did this, but we're gonna do it all again because it's pretty complicated. A lot of different steps, and I wanna show you all of the steps in order to create an internal Google Sheets add-on. And I'll show you how this works, is this add-on that we made today is here, extensions, my own sheet setup. When we click it, it's going to, and it already did, turn the header to this green color, make it bold, and freeze the first column. So this is a really easy thing to set up, easy automation to set up for your sheets that you generally want to do, like some actions you want to take when you first set up a sheet or whenever you're formatting a sheet to your liking, bolding the header, freezing a certain number of rows. All of these steps you can do in an extension and an add-on. And you can do this through, absolutely you can do this through just extensions app script, which I'll show you the code. But what the add-on does is makes it available to other sheets or even everyone on your domain. So if you're an admin in a domain, or even if you just work in a domain where you're like creating your own app scripts, but you work in a company which has their own workspace domain. Now, if I go to sheet.new, it's a brand new sheet. I have the extension available to me, so I can set up the sheet just like I would do it anytime. So here's some text. It's already bold. See, it was a brand new sheet, absolutely new, so it was completely defaulted, and in one click I have this setup done. This is the code for it. We're doing essentially three things. We are freezing the top row, so spreadsheet app.getActiveSheet.set frozen rows, only one. We're getting the maximum number of columns just so that we know the number of columns that we have to set the background to, which we're doing that to row 1 from row 1, column 1 until the end, which is max columns. And we're setting the background to this hex code, and then we're going to bold the first row. This was a little tricky if you're looking to bold a row. Spreadsheet app.getActiveSheet, get range. Get the range, the same range. This is just the header row here, 1, 1, 1, and then max columns. .set font weight bold. So this is something that is a little unintuitive. You have to set the font weight bold if you want to bold something. I thought it was like set format. I thought it was format style, text style. It's set font weight bold. That's about it. And so I'm going to show you all of these other two steps. But what's really cool, again, is that you can write this script, right? We created this function setup. And normally I would say, hey, just create an on-open menu that when you open the sheet, you have this one click available, this extension. Actually, it would be in a custom menu. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to create an add-on menu. And then we're going to go through the whole process of creating an add-on, which you will see it is quite complicated. But I think it's really awesome if you are a domain master or creating in scripts and you want to give this kind of automations to your entire domain. I think it's worth it, I think. And I think it's a great addition to the course, Publish Your Own Google Sheet Add-on, because that entire course, which this video will be added to, is all about external add-ons. And you will see it is very much the exact same process, except no verification, no approval process. We're going to get it all done today. We're going to create a new one. So I'm actually going to go and do sheet.new again. I'm going to do this all over again from nothing. So we're going to set up our sheet a bit differently. But we are going to have a sheet setup. So we're going to go to extensions, app script. We will have nothing. The only thing I'm going to copy is this setup function, and I will write the other stuff too. So again, if we have this function set up, we're just freezing the top row. We're actually going to freeze the top 2 rows. We're going to change this color to, I think, sort of a gray 2222. Is that 6 2s? Yeah, we're going to set that background to gray. I think also what we can do is set the text color. Let's see. Set text. I think it's style. Actually, it's set font. There it is, set font color. Okay. And this, instead of black, we want white. So we actually can type in white, I think. And we are going to also bold the first row. So I'm going to save this. And if we run this, again, this is some text here. Let's say we have a little bit of text. This looks like it's all normal formatting. If we set up first 2 rows, let's say. If we hit run in here, it's going to ask for our permissions, of course, the very first time we run it. Let's go through it. Allow. See if it worked. It worked. We have the first 2 rows frozen. We have a bold text, and we have it also black, or a bit black background. It is a custom color here. Okay, this automation works, but now we want to give it to everyone else in the entire domain. How do we do that? Okay, we are going to copy this function on open. So what this is creating is on open, we're creating a spreadsheet.getUI. We're creating an add-on menu, setup sheet, setup. So we're going to create this setup 2. We're going to rename this setup 2. We're going to save this. Once we save it, we're going to close out of the app script, and we're going to refresh our sheet, because that on open is only going to happen on open. And we just want to double check that it is absolutely correct, it is working. So go to extensions, set up first 2 rows, set up sheet. So actually we can, let's say we freeze more rows. Now let's see what happens if we go to extensions, set up first 2 rows. I have to actually click it, set up first 2 rows, set up sheet. We'll run it. Great, it works. Again, this all is in our own sheet. We just want to make sure it works. And now we're going to do something special, a few things special, in order to get this as an add-on. We need to create a function on install. I'm going to put E here. And then just run the on open. E. On open. E. And that's it. We just need to run the on open once it's installed so that it actually adds it to that, create that add-on menu. This is a little different than I've ever shown you before. This create add-on menu normally looks like create menu, but we do have to have that add-on menu here in order to use this. So we're going to save this. Now we're going to go over to our project settings. We need a few things. Let's show appscript.manifest. We also need to do this cloud platform. So we're going to go to our console.cloud. We're going to sign in with our user. Make sure it's the correct user. And if you see this, I already have a Google Cloud function here, or project actually. So what I need to do is go up to this bar here and create new project. So we're going to create a new cloud project. I'm going to call it setup sheet 2, because again, I've done this before. Just want to have something differentiator, some name here. We're going to create it. It's going to take a moment here to create. You're going to see this loading bar, and we need to actually wait until it's created, until we select that project. So make sure you select that project. Make sure the name is here, setup 2. Right now, we just need this project number. For now, we'll come back to this in a second. I want to change a project. When we add this, watch what happens, is it will say, in order to change your project, you need to configure the OAuth consent screen. So let's go do that. Here we will go to dashboard, I think. Here we will be able to, actually, up in the navigation, APIs and services, OAuth consent screen. That's where it is. API services, OAuth consent screen. We need to create this. We will create a internal type. So if you saw the publish a Google Sheet add-on course, we will always be using external. But in this particular case, we are doing internal. And this will only, you won't be able to change this later. But you can absolutely do this entire process again if you just copy the app script and do another sheet. You can absolutely do it again. So we are going to set up sheet 2. We're going to call it. We are going to use our own email as our user support email. We do need a logo here. I'm going to use my company logo, Better Sheets logo. We need a PNG, I think. Yeah. The app domain. I'm just going to use my own domain. And for all of these, the policy and terms of service. Again, this is an internal tool, so there's no verification of this, but I just use my own domain just in case somebody is looking at this. We need to add the domain, which is our authorized domain, which we are a domain user of and admin. So we'll add that. Actually, we will to HTTPS. Must not specify this, so we just need bettersheets.co. Developer, we will add our email address again. Save and continue. The scopes we are going to use, this might sound tricky. For this particular one, we are only going to need one, which is spreadsheets. And I always have to look at OAuth scope spreadsheet only. I always have to like Google this and figure out what the URL is because it's not here. I think it's spreadsheets only. This one. Because it is not here. We always have to manually add it to the table. Now it is checked off. Again, it's weird. It's not findable, but you just add it, copy paste it. We add it. It is a sensitive scope, but internal apps, it does not matter. We will not be going through the verification process. So it says OAuth consent screen. Back to dashboard. We do not need to make this internal. Let's see. I think that's it. I think we have to do something else, but we will come back to it if we need to do it. We'll set the project. Great. Worked. So now, what's the next step? We need to get this actually onto the Google Workspace Marketplace. Again, just like we do with the external one, we just search for Marketplace SDK, and it is right here, Google Workspace Marketplace SDK. We will need to enable this. You will see we will go through almost the entire process of creating an add-on as if we were going to need to get it approved, put it on the marketplace, but you will see the last step, it will be automatic. Okay. We are now in Google Workspace Marketplace SDK. We need to do two things. We need an app configuration and store listing. So app configuration, let's click on that. We do not need to make it public. We actually need to make it private so that it is only available to users in our domain. You can make it unlisted, I believe. I'm going to make it private in this particular case. We will make it individual and admin install. The app integration down here will be only Sheets add-on. Okay, here we need a Sheets add-on project script ID. Where do we get that from? So this is the app script project. But what I need to do is click on Deploy, New Deployment. I'm going to select the type, add-on, and this is just set up to deploy. We need a version number too, and that's why we need to deploy this. So when we deploy it, it will have a deployment ID right there. And we can also click copy. This is version 1. So if you ever make additional versions, you will have to come in here and change this. But add-on, project script ID, script version 1. Scroll down. We want to add, just to make sure we have this, we do want to make sure we have this OAuth scopes. So I'm actually going to copy these OAuth scopes and put it into our manifest, just in case we need this, and we might have to, I just want spreadsheets here. Do not want this second part, just in case we need it. We may have to deploy this again if we need these OAuth scopes, but I also just want these so I can copy it here, copy this, go to add scope, scroll down, develop. We do have to put these names in. Again, this is all internal, so you can really do whatever, not necessarily anything you want, but you do need to make it clear. It's just your own stuff. Application, it's just going to be HTTPS. You may want to actually create a website for your application here for internal use only. You may want to do exactly the same thing as I did with the external one, create a card, CARRD. If you wish, you may want to do that. make sure all the fields are correct. What did I miss? Project key is not associated. Add-on project script ID. Let's go back and look at this. Actually, project settings. Did I get the wrong one? I think maybe this is it. Actually, IDs are unique. This script ID. That's what we need. My mistake. Not the deployment ID. Okay, that should work now. Let's click save. See if we have any more errors. Great. We are saved. This one. This is the one that can't be. So the app visibility setting cannot be changed once it's saved. You can do this entire process again, but for our purposes here, it is going to be private no matter what. Okay, we saved. Now what? What's the next step? We will go back to the Marketplace SDK, and we will do store listing. So we did our app configuration here, right? Done and done was there. Go to store listing now. This is where you're going to have to just put the sort of customer-facing information. But again, our customers are going to be either ourselves or the people on our domain. So you have to make it just enough information for them, for them to know what it does. Sets up the new spreadsheet easily. The longer description we will add here easily with font bold and black background and freezes 2 rows. And we're just making a longer, this is for people who may be on your domain, but they might not know what it is doing. Free of charge category. For this, we are just going to do task management probably, or utilities. Could do, may want to do task management, but I'll put utilities. Graphic asset. This can literally be the exact same image. This is something that I sort of found out, not by mistake, but by other people. We only need to put in the ones that are required, especially for one that we're making internal. We just want to get through this sort of as quickly as we want because we just want users to use this, right? They know it's coming. We know it's coming. We need a screenshot. Let's go back to our sheet. Let's take a really quick screenshot here. Close that. Browse. We can drag a photo. There we go. There's a screenshot. Show them what we're working with. Support links. We will need a support URL. Again, just your own domain, wherever that is. And you may actually want to publish these. We want it all regions. Save. Saved. And I'm looking through, just checking again that we have everything done. Publish. Approved. See, this is the process in which it is so fast. Externally, what happened is we, so if you need to do external, you need to go get the OAuth screen, OAuth consent screen approved first, and then you need to get this store listing approved. But in this case, we have now approved it. But the cool thing about this is it's not available to anyone not in our domain. The bad thing is this app URL doesn't exist. Literally does not exist. If you click on it, it will take you to a 400 error. If you try to rename it app name, the app name we put in, it does not work. I'll show you how we get this. So let's see if it is now in our extensions, add-ons. We're going to go to get add-ons. And if all is correct, we now have this button here called internal apps. And it says no matching results. We did have this before. Might take a little bit of time to get here, but this internal apps button shows up and it should have something. Did have something. There it is. Funny I had to actually search for it. But look, there's 2 because I had created this one before my own sheet setup as a test of this. Now we have setup 2, the one we just created. We're going to do an individual install. Again, you can do an admin install if you wish so that everybody has it available. We're going to allow. And let's see if on this brand new sheet, we have this app script available to us. It tells us where to go. Can we go up to extensions? setup to, setup sheet, done and done. We have bolded white text on black background. We have two rows frozen. We have done it in 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes, and we have an internal app completely, an internal add-on completely created and published so that people on our domain can use it. Again, it is a little funky to go to add-ons, get add-ons. Funny enough, before I was just clicking on internal apps, and it was there, because we have to search for it as well. Done and done, installed. But it is available there. And yeah, avoid this URL. It doesn't work. It's so weird that that wouldn't work. Some key things, the script IDs. The Google Cloud project is probably one of the most convoluted things you may have to do. You have to go to console.google.com, create a new Google Cloud platform, and you do have to do the OAuth consent screen and do the store listing, app listing, and store listing. App configuration, and store listing. So that's all the steps. And I hope that was really helpful to you to create an internal Google Sheet add-on.